Good afternoon from Universal Studios. We have a very exciting day ahead of us. Very, very warm outside. It's 102 degrees. In honor of that, I think it's only appropriate to get a milkshake. Something really nice, cold, and refreshing over here at Toothsome Chocolate Emporium. So let's go do that. Alrighty, we just made it into the Foundry on the west end of the Toothsome building, and the Foundry is essentially their milkshake bar. They have so many wild-looking milkshakes presented in front of us, but the one that stood out to me the most is this Rocket Pop. First of all, it's not your ordinary milkshake. There's a Rocket Popsicle on top of the milkshake, so it's kind of like a double snack. For a little bit of context, I've had almost every single milkshake at Toothsome, and this had to be my favorite. Usually, it's a struggle for me to go through an entire milkshake at Toothsome, but this one was so good I finished the entire thing. And this is actually a limited edition milkshake you can get because it's promoted as the 30th anniversary City Walk shake. So I'd highly recommend getting this before the 30th anniversary celebration ends. Alright, now let's roll into the updates. Over here in City Walk, they have some scaffolding up around the former Starbucks location, but I would really love Universal Studios Hollywood to bring the escape room from Florida over here. So Dustin was actually able to do the escape rooms. How'd you like that experience?
I thought it was cool. I mean, they have two really iconic IPs there, of course, using Jurassic and Back to the Future.
Back to the future!
But I think in terms of like what they did with like the theming of it and just bringing in those IPs, I think was really smart and really cool. I'm just excited for what else Universal could do, maybe trying to bring back to the Future again. I think a lot of people would like it.
I wouldn't doubt if they consider that for a whole attraction in the theme park in the future. Instead of Fast and Furious coaster, they would bring back to the Future and make it Back to the Future, the ride roller coaster.
Can you imagine like the launch up to 80 miles an hour and stuff like that?
Going through Hill Valley, passing the clock tower.
Dude, if they had like a clock tower structure you could like fly through, like kind of like the ride, like that would be so cool. Like, but we got fast, but like that's still gonna be cool too.
I wonder when they're gonna switch out all the Super Nintendo World stuff though. Probably when Horror Nights comes along. Alright, the heat's definitely getting to me now. This is like the perfect weather to get on Jurassic front row.
Jurassic World front row?
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get wet. We're gonna get very wet if we do that.
Dustin, I think it's a great idea to just walk in the store and chill. The air conditioning's on, I can feel it from here. Oh, that feels good. So to promote the new Halloween Horror Nights maze that's coming to this year's event, they brought in a ton of Stranger Things merchandise because if you didn't know already, Stranger Things is going to be one of the haunted houses and I'm so darn excited. Speaking of merchandise, they released this merchandise line not too long ago and they actually brought in a few new items with the line. I noticed they brought a lot of like kids clothing and little fanny packs. They also brought in some water bottles, but my favorite definitely has to be these little backpacks they brought. And what I love especially about these is that it says 1912 in the back. That's the year Universal opened, and then they also have like a little wallet over here as well. It's a sold out day inside of the theme park. Okay, I'm gonna stop here for a quick second because Dustin and I had the very same reaction while looking onto the site of the former special effects and animal actors show. They've almost completely torn down special effects from this point. This is wild to see. Now this is a crazy sight to see. Isn't it sad that something we grew up with watching is being knocked down now? Of course, special effects wasn't always up here. It used to be down at the lower lots, and I think that was my favorite version of the special effects show. But we did have like Fear Factor Live, we had Beetlejuice, we had many iconic and great shows over here in that location. It's crazy, the last time we were here, we saw someone dressed up as Marty McFly. It was not, we thought it was an official character that they debuted that day, but it unfortunately wasn't.
It was a park guest.
It was a park guest.
He was moving out like this too. It was like
he was walking like Marty, and we.
Look.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate. But
he's like walking, like running his hair, like.
Carried away with the Marty talk, but we ran into a friend. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Andrew, and I'm subscribed to JP.
And what's your favorite ride in the park?
Definitely Jurassic World.
Jurassic World. Yep. There you go. Me too. Boom.
Make sure to subscribe to him and like him.
Thank you.
He knows!
He knows!
That's a pro.
By the way, if you ever see both of us at the theme park, don't take a picture with Dustin. Have Dustin take a picture of me and you.
That's about right though.
So we can start, we can reverse the meme.
Hold on.
Dustin, The photographer.
No, I don't want the meme. I don't want the meme. But we are today. We are 1-1. JP took a picture with one person today. I took a picture with one person today. So we're 1 for 1. There's not too many Who's the Sharks today. Like we're doing okay so far. But I mean, it's probably taking another like 30 minutes and he'll be up. So it's okay.
Anyways, we were talking about Marty McFly. It would be really cool to have him as an official park character instead of the park. I didn't really talk about it much, but earlier we went to Toothsome, and that was because we had a little media event to taste a bunch of the milkshakes. And I was a little nervous about that because I've never been invited from the park at all, and this was my very first time being invited from the theme park. And I was just really nervous, really excited, but really nervous because I've never gone to anything like this. It was so overwhelming, but I had a lot of fun. And Universal, if you're watching this, thank you so much for inviting me. I truly appreciate it. I have a strong love for this theme park, and I always love coming here. Honestly, it was just nerve-wracking being at a Universal event for the first time. I don't know really how to explain how I was feeling. It was a combination of overwhelmed, excited, and nervous all at once. I was really happy though at the end of it.
You know what I feel like? Like you've just been making Universal content for so long. Like, and the fact that it must have just felt like all these videos like finally led up to today. I mean, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Like that's how I kind of imagine it. Is like, I'm sure you're probably thinking about like those years of work and being here when you were very little, like filming the upside down vlog of Jaws on the tram. Like that's JP's first video, guys, is an upside down video of Jaws. How old were you?
I don't know. I was 10 years old when I started my channel.
Yeah. So all the way from 10 years old to now, and this being your first event, like everything you've ever done, all the live streams, all the vlogs, all the Instagram posts, like kind of led up to this moment today where you finally got to be, around, the park higher ups and just being in there and saying hello to everyone and seeing all of your fellow content creators. And like, I'm sure that must have been a cool moment.
Yeah, it was really cool. And I was like honestly tearing up. It really wasn't a big event, but it's just like so crazy being recognized by a theme park that you just grew up with and loved. And this is truly my second home. So if I walked up to 10-year-old me and told him being invited to a Universal Studios Hollywood event, he would have been in so much disbelief. He probably would have been so happy, probably as happy as I am right now. I'm probably more happy than 10-year-old me right now. But it's so awesome. I was just so happy. Walking into Nintendo World now because we don't need a reservation to get into the land, which is good. They've been doing this a lot recently where they lower the reservations around like 6 o'clock. It's 5:30 right now and it's closer to 6, so that's what I've been noticing recently, but they don't do it all the time. I would definitely recommend showing up early because they don't really use reservations in the morning. But if they do, I highly recommend downloading the Universal app for that. And Dustin seems very happy to be here.
Always.
I want to try to meet Toad today. I don't know what time he comes out. They don't really have anything showing off what time he comes out, but we met Toad the other day.
Toad is my favorite. He goes like this, like.
He's like the cutest thing ever. I want to just take him.
JP said this, goes, "You are so cute." He goes.
All right, we did everything we wanted to do at the lower lot, which isn't much. We just kind of hung out. There wasn't much to talk about down there. I have something
kind of controversial to say. It's not literally controversial, but just like something to say. If they could do anything with the lower lot, I think they should take down the Mummy building, kind of similar to what they're doing with like special effects stage and animal actors. That way, if they want to expand into the back lot, they could right here obviously like have more space already, so it open up the walkway and then start building into the back lot. Like you could do so much, I feel like, with that open space and like figuring out like something to do with like.
Well, I've been saying that for a long time, and also I think the Mummy ride is getting a little old. It's been around for 19 years now.
Right now.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's good seeing you.
Oh my God, I love you.
I think opening up the Fast and Furious roller coaster gives the park a little bit of leeway because they're going to have a fast coaster now upstairs. So it allows them to honestly go ahead and close Mummy if they want, without really like having to like worry about giving up too much. Like I think it's like a good like trade-off.
Yeah.
Here's the real question about the Fast and Furious coaster: is there going to be a really cool soundtrack playing in the car, almost like Rip Ride Rocket, like really cool Fast and Furious style music while you're going? I feel like there has to be.
That's my takeaway with Velocicoaster, and that's why it's not my favorite roller coaster. It's lacking a soundtrack on the roller coaster. Like imagine Velocicoaster with the soundtrack. It'd be great. It'd be really good.
I think it has like something. It just like doesn't like stand out as much as like a Rip Ride Rocket, where like the music is the star of the show. I feel like with Fast and Furious, like
you kind of need the music.
Well, you're gonna get the car sounds. At least you should. I would assume like that kind of stuff. But if you get a really cool soundtrack and it feels like you're whipping around like in a car like to loud music, like oh my god.
Imagine they play like Gasolina while you're driving around. Like or what they could do is pull off a Disney and like every time you ride it, it's a different song.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably how it would be. Like they should pick like the top 6 songs. Like imagine like getting shots one time. Like, I feel like they're gonna take like all of the songs that people have kind of like memed with like Supercharged and just make it like great, like put it in this car, and all of a sudden the narrative becomes amazing on those songs.
With them building this fast coaster, what do you think they're gonna do with Supercharged?
You know, I really don't think there's like a lot left for Supercharged at this point. I think once you have the coaster, you officially have your Fast and Furious representation in the park. And just because of like the general sentiment and how people normally talk about Supercharged, I think that gives Universal the freedom to be like, okay, we gave people Fast and Furious, we gave them a great ride with this coaster. We're assuming it's gonna be great. We gave them a great ride. Now we can go to the tram, we can go do something different. And what I would like is for them to do a big blowout, almost great movie style finale to the tram. Like pull into a building, show us the best of all the Universal movies, do a physical style attraction, almost like Twister or Backdraft with like physical effects and like cool things happening.
So essentially less screens, more physical effects.
Yeah, like make it like an old school, like maybe even bring back the big Kong animatronic.
Oh my gosh,
like,
that'd be awesome.
Make it a best of all worlds Universal classic like movie ride ending to the tram. And have Doc Brown narrate it, be like, guys, like the tram has been fun, but we need to go back in time and see all of Universal's greatest before we leave. And then like we pull in, like the music's happening, like back to the beat's happening, and like all of a sudden maybe like imagine like a cyclone comes down, it's Twister, like we need like physical effects like on just like fleek for like to represent all of the old rides that we've lost over the years.
And then you end the studio tour, boom, by bringing back Tramtastic Day.
Yes.
They haven't been playing it much. That's my #1 complaint with this park.
That would be even better than the great movie attraction. Have Tramtastic Day at the end again.
All right, we made our way into City Walk to have dinner at Vivo Italian Kitchen. This is Dustin and I's favorite restaurant to pick up food, especially the chicken parm. This is our favorite dish at Vivo.
With the Alfredo sauce.
Oh yes, with the Alfredo sauce. That's our special touch to it. So we just wrapped up our meal over here at Vivo, and how'd you guys like the food?
It was a solid 8 out of 10.
By the way, we're here with Jeremy and his girlfriend Michelle. We're also here with Dustin.
This is my cousin. If we haven't made that intro, I don't know where we're at in the vlog, but we have. I'm sorry.
We've had to redo this clip a few times.
It's my cousin.
If you haven't heard of his cousin.
Jeremy.
He's my cousin.
He's the guppy.
Yeah, he's awesome.
That's the shark.
I'm also his cousin.
She's the starfish.
Also, it's Thursday.
Actually,
It's Tuesday.
You gotta put in the dolphin.
That'll ultimately wrap up today's vlog. We're about to do Friday Night Live. It's Tuesday, but we're gonna do it anyways.
Friday Night Live.
I'll see you guys there.
Bye, guys.